Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the workshop. We are working on this ridiculous Scottish Claymore. Sorry. We're working on this Scottish Claymore, and we've got a lot of grinding to do. Okay. Mike Boyd can do that a little better than I can.
A Scottish Claymore.
So I've got my work cut out. First things first is I'm going to take the 9-inch grinder. I'm going to slap this on a piece of angle iron in the vise, in the grinding room, and we're going to try and get down to bare metal. Ugly duckly. Well, thankfully that didn't take too long. I've got the scale off. We've got it down to clean metal, which is very important because that gives us somewhere to start from. And I think the next step, I think this is the smart thing to do, is going to be to put this in the ferric chloride and give it a test etch. Why? Well, obviously with this pattern that's going to be running straight down the middle and with it being wider, I want to make sure that when we profile this, we're profiling it in a way that is generous to the pattern, that looks good, makes it all look straight, and now while everything's thick and could be moved around or bent if need be, or ground to make it then fit better with the pattern, I want to do that now instead of right at the end when we do the final etch. So we're going to etch it, we're going to have a look at it. This should also show if there are any cracks. But we're going to etch it and we're going to have a look and we're going to see how the pattern is down the piece. Hopefully it works well. Oh boy, cutting it close. Into the ferric chloride we go. After having degreased it, made sure there's no oil on it. How am I going to get the ferric chloride off it? Look at that, teamwork. Teamwork makes the dream work. That'll work. Thank you, Jamie. Oogly doogly. Well, it's difficult to tell on camera. These test etches never really show up so well to the camera. But to my eye, I can see it's actually looking pretty good. I don't seem to have any major problems with biases to one side or the other with the pattern. Looks wonderfully organic. I'm a little concerned about how neat the weld is at the tip. That could be a problem. Maybe it'll grind out. It swells a little unnaturally, but obviously that's just a result of the forging process being, you know, a lot of hand hammer work and going back and forth and having those struggles going from power hammer to hand hammer, etc., etc. Time to work out exactly where we're going to grind these edges to and make sure we got it nice and flat and straight. Oh, blue die, come, how you're so lovely, your color's so blue, so great for scribing. Blue dicum, blue dicum. Right, so I also put some blue dicum down the middle. We've got this piece of ground steel, which should indeed be pretty straight. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay that on there, and we are going to scribe a center line so we can measure from it and scribe our edges. Okay, well, we've got it all scribed up. I've got my length there. We've got a nice 90-degree scribe here. It's ready to plot our edges. And you'll notice there's going to be a lot of wastage there. I might well end up just cutting this off with a zip disc on a grinder. Once I plotted out the Scottish Claymore width on this thing, I went, holy moly, this is a lot thinner than I made it, which obviously a lot of you have been mentioning, but it really hit home right about here. This issue goes all the way back to episode 2, where I ended up forging it out way too thick, forging the bevels, and then not having enough length because of the cracks, so I had to then try and forge the bevels back down, but it was very, very tricky. Frankly, I'm shocked that we're even here. All this material that's going to be wasted could really help to get this even longer. Oh well, it's time to go into the grinding room and start cutting. Okey-dokey. So, since you saw me last, we have got those sides cut. We've ground them to the scribe lines, which means that we got something good to work with here. From that baseline, I then wanted to make sure that we've got the thing straight and we're ready to start working on the next step, which I've never done this before, and frankly, I'm utterly terrified about the idea of doing this, which is the reason I've never done it before, but the noviceness is part of why this is going to be enjoyable and educational, because we're making a blood groove. That's right, we're gonna make a fuller. We're gonna make it a fuller with the grinder. Oh boy. Okay, so the fullers are roughed out in the blade at 60 grit. None of the bevels are ground down any further. Going with the fullers first, so that then as we bring the bevels down, I actually don't have a reason for why we're doing the fullers first. I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm struggling, but we're trying our best. I'm excited that I tried fullers. I think this is gonna end up being really special, especially with the twisted Damascus. By having the fullers that are ground in, that should distort it, so we have a lot of work to do on that. And sadly, now it's time to talk about something that's a little bit more of a somber tone, not as enjoyable as grinding fullers, which of course in the Barker Street video that you will have seen 2 videos ago, lots of people were asking about Sam again. And a few weeks ago, I did a very, very brief explanation, and I absolutely should have done a little bit of a better explanation for that. So about a month or so ago, I ended up deciding that Sam, working for me, it just wasn't working out quite as well as I would have liked it to. And so sadly, Sam is no longer working for the company, but what Sam is doing now is very exciting. He's making his own YouTube videos on his YouTube channel, and he's done a bloody good job. He's got some awesome collaborations lined up, notably with Michael Cthulhu, which is very exciting. There's a big name. That's a big name sword maker on YouTube. And so because of that, ladies and gentlemen, please do make sure that you go and check out Sam's videos. Of course, you know, Sam helped out on the live shows for a year or so, and Sam was always popping up in the videos throughout the year. Make sure you go check out his videos so you can see more of what he's doing and what he gets up to now that he's working in his own business for himself. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you watching. It's been a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to working some more on the sword. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow.